Hey y'all, it's Friendly Neighborhood Therapist, and it is February 23rd, 2025. So it is day 23 in our series of lesser known facts and lesser known people of the culture for Black History Month. So today we are going to focus on another phenomenal Black woman. I did not know this woman before today, but she did a whole lot. But what really stuck out and made me want to teach y'all about her is the mindset she had. And it just fascinated me that this is how this woman thought. And it also fascinated me how much stuff she actually did. So let's get into it. All right, so this is Miss Maggie Lena Walker, born July 15th, 1864, in Richmond, Virginia. And she was an American businesswoman and teacher. In 1903, she became both the first African American woman to charter a bank and the first African American woman to serve as a bank president. As a leader, Walker achieved successes with the vision to make tangible improvements in the way of life for African Americans. Disabled by paralysis and a wheelchair user later in life, Walker also paved the way for people with disabilities. Along with her leadership of the Independent Order of St. Luke, Maggie Walker was also involved with the NAACP, the National Association of Colored Women, the National Urban League, and National Negro Business League, and the United Order of Tents. She restored and furnished a home in the historic Jackson Ward neighborhood of Richmond, Virginia, and it has been designated a National Historic Site operated by the National Park Service. So, just a little bit about her childhood. Born Maggie Lena Draper, the daughter of Elizabeth Draper and Ecclese Cuthbert, her mother was a former slave and an assistant cook at the Van Loo estate in Churchill of Richmond, Virginia, where she met Cuthbert, who was an Irish American journalist for the New York Herald based in Virginia. Maggie's family moved to their own home on College Alley off Broadway Street. The house was near the First African Baptist Church, which, like many black churches at the time, was an economic, political, and social center for the local black community. After the untimely death of her stepfather, her mother supported the family by working as a laundress. Walker attended the newly formed Richmond Public Schools and helped her mother by delivering clean clothes. When she was 14 years old, she joined the local council of the Independent Order of St. Luke. This fraternal organization was originally established as a burial society in 1867 in Baltimore, Maryland. The Independent Order of St. Luke ministered to the sick and aged, promoted humanitarian causes, and provided long term economic and social support in the post slavery Reconstruction era United States by acting cooperatively to provide African Americans with access to education, health care, banking, and insurance, among other services. Walker graduated from the Richmond Colored Normal School in 1883, part of the segregated Richmond public school system. The black students were to receive diplomas in a church, while white students would walk in a theater. The black seniors protested at the split graduation and the choice of a church as their venue, and their principal informed them that they could only combine events if seating was segregated. The students decided to graduate from their school's auditorium, and attendee Wendell Dabney claimed that this was the first school strike of Negroes in America, and this was her senior class. After graduating high school, she taught for 3 years at her former school, the Valley School, also known as the Lancastrian School, for a wage of $35 a month. Her employment ended once she was married in accordance with school policy against employing married women. While working at Valley School, she also worked part time as an insurance agent with the Women's Union and took night classes in accounting. The Women's Union was a cooperative organization of women engaged in businesses to meet the needs of Richmond, Virginia's black community. After leaving her teaching position in 1886, Walker devoted herself to the order and rose steadily through its ranks. She served in numerous capacities of increasing responsibility, from that of a delegate to the biannual convention to the top leadership position of Right Worthy Grand Secretary in 1899. Walker saved the Independent Order of St. Luke from the brink of collapse after the financial mismanagement of its previous leader, William Forster. She doubled the number of members within her first year at the top. Walker's social change activities with the Independent Order of St. Luke demonstrated her keen consciousness of oppression and her dedication to challenge racial and gender injustice. A pioneering insurance executive, financier, and civic icon, she established the junior branch of the order in 1895 while serving as Grand Deputy Matron. This branch encouraged education, community service, and thrift in young members. Maggie L. Walker served as the leader of the order until her death in 1934. March 29, 1902, she published the first issue of the St. Luke Herald, a newspaper for the organization. She was motivated by the need to draw attention to Black issues in the community and increase communication for the order. The first issue decried Jim Crow laws, a discriminatory justice system, and the restriction of public school privileges. The paper included a section for children, letting them publish letters to the St. Luke grandmother and publishing her advice. Walker was the journal's editor for over 30 years. In 1903, Walker chartered the St. Luke Penny Savings Bank. She wanted to help finance Black home ownership and turn saved cents into dollars for Black people. Walker served as the bank's first president, which earned her the recognition of being the first African American woman to charter a bank in the United States. Charles Thaddeus Russell was Richmond's first Black architect, and he designed the building for her. The St. Luke Penny Savings Bank's leadership also included several female board members. Walker provided children's savings initiatives through the bank, giving children in Richmond's Jackson Ward cardboard boxes for saving pennies. She let them open bank accounts when they had saved a dollar and claimed that many had saved $1 to $400 during this time. By 1920, Walker claimed that the bank had helped 645 Black families completely pay off their homes. Walker was bank president through two mergers, retiring to chairman of the board of directors due to poor health in 1932. Eventually, the bank was renamed to the Consolidated Bank and Trust Company, which grew to serve generations of Richmonders as an African American owned institution. Walker also volunteered for a number of organizations related to education and racial equality. She established and maintained a community house in Richmond, helped recruit and keep a visiting nurse, and advised the Piedmont Sanatorium for Black people with tuberculosis in Burkeville, Virginia. She handled the funds for the National League of Republican Colored Women and participated in women's suffrage and voter registration campaigns and helped form the Virginia Lilly Black Republican Party. Walker also served in many other organizations. She was founder and president of the Council of Colored Women, co founder of the NAACP Richmond branch, vice president of the Negro Organization Society of Virginia, a board member of the NAACP, a board member of the National Urban League, a board member of the Virginia Interracial Committee, a member of the State Federation of Colored Women, a member of the International Council of Women of the Darker Races, a member of the National Association of Wage Earners, and a executive committee member of the National Association of Colored Women's Clubs. She did a lot, because my God. In her personal life, on September 14th, 1886, in Richmond, she married Armstead Walker Jr., a brick contractor. And this is what I wanted to point out. Please note her views on marriage. These are her words, quoted. And since marriage is an equal partnership, I believe that the woman and the man are equal in power and should, by consultation and agreement, mutually decide as to the conduct of the home and the government of the children. In 1886, it was probably unheard of for most women to feel like they were equal to a man in a marriage. Anyway, they adopted a daughter, Polly Anderson, and had three sons: Russell Eccles Talmadge Walker, born in 1890, Armstead Mitchell Walker, born in 1893, but he passed away 7 months later, and Melvin DeWitt Walker, who was born in 1897. The Walkers purchased a home in 1904 within the African American Jackson Ward neighborhood of Richmond, and it was enlarged over the years to accommodate their children's families. In 1907, Walker fell on her front steps, damaging nerves and tendons in her knees. She suffered severe pain as a result and spent much of her last decade at home. In 1928, she used a cane wheelchair, adding a hand operated elevator to her home and modifying a 1929 eight-seat Packard to fit the chair. Now, crazy thing that happened in this woman's family that I have to highlight. On June 20th, 1914, her son Russell, at about age 24-25, shot and killed his father Armstead. Russell had mistaken Armstead for a burglar for whom both he and his father had been searching. Russell was arrested and charged with murder, and after 5 months of awaiting trial, he was declared not guilty. The loss left Walker to manage a large household, but her work and investments kept the family comfortably situated. Not many women could maintain an entire family that large, or at all, even a smaller family, after the loss of the husband. This woman, even in that, sustained. Walker loved to entertain, and during this time, she still frequently invited Black business, civic, and social leaders to dine at her house. Visitors included W.E.B. Du Bois, Langston Hughes, and Mary McLeod Bethune. Walker was inducted as an honorary member of the new chapter of Zeta Phi Beta sorority, incorporated at the chapter's first meeting in 1926. Walker died December 15th, 1934. As far as her legacy, in 1905, Walker was featured alongside other African American leaders such as Mary Church Terrell and George Washington Carver in a poster titled 101 Prominent Colored People. She received an honorary master's degree from Virginia Union University in 1925 and became a trustee there in 1931. She also served as trustee to the National Training School in Washington, D.C., and was inducted into the Junior Achievement U.S. Business Hall of Fame in 2001. Walker's image was included in the 1945 painting Women Builders by William H. Johnson as part of his Fighters for Freedom series. In Walker's honor, Richmond Public Schools built a large brick high school adjacent to Virginia Union University, Maggie L. Walker High School, which was one of two schools in the area for Black students during the Jim Crow era. The school was totally refurbished to reopen in 2001 as the Regional Maggie L. Walker Governor's School for Government and International Studies. Walker was honored in 2000 as one of the first group of Virginia women in history celebrated at the Library of Virginia. On July 15, 2017, a statue of Walker designed by Antonio Tobias Mendez was unveiled at the Maggie L. Walker Memorial Plaza on Broad Street in Richmond, Virginia. The Washington Post noted that the bronze 10-foot statue depicts Walker as she lived, her glasses pinned to her lapel, a checkbook in her hand. In 2020, Walker was one of 8 women achievers featured in the Only One in the Room display at the Smithsonian National Museum of American History. When I said at the beginning that she did a whole lot, she did a whole lot. And not only did she do a whole lot when she was healthy, but even after an accident that made her wheelchair bound, this woman put an elevator in her home, redid her vehicle in order to accommodate a wheelchair, which was not really heard of back then. And she still worked. Like she still did the work. And her views on marriage being an egalitarian, equal relationship, unheard of in the 1890s. People don't even want to hear that now, not people who are about traditional marriage. So this woman did so much, and her mind was just different. And she was the first Black woman to charter and be president of a bank. Y'all, Miss Maggie Lena Walker, the dopeness of this woman. And the fact that she was a Zeta just does it for me. Told y'all we do a lot of first. But anyway, I hope y'all have a beautiful, wonderful rest of the night. And make sure you join me tomorrow for day 24 in our series of lesser known facts and lesser known people of the culture for Black History Month.